Welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. We are live. Let me just double check on YouTube that we are live. Yep, it all seems fine. Those adverts finish. Damn adverts, damn you, YouTube. Anyway, let's get see who is online. Paul is online. There's a few other people online. So Celtic tomorrow have the AGM. The internet is not showing a good signal up here this evening. There is the small matter of the AGM this morning. There's a bit of other Celtic news kicking about this afternoon. There's one bit of news that was kicking around. Obviously, I've been trying to get a bit more information about this, but there's a lot of noise going around today that Celtic will not be fined for the Palestine flags. No fine for the Palestine flags, which I think is quite ironic and funny. I think it is quite funny, and considering the some of the nonsense that was directed to me on this channel for the Green Brigade and them having the Palestine flags, and then all the unsubscribers, it's I find it quite funny that UEFA have decided not. That's right, decided not. Now I am still waiting to try and get some solid confirmation about it. But the Celtic Star have written an article about it. The Celtic Star have written an article. There was lots of other people talking about it on Twitter this morning. And UEFA have basically decided not. And under the current, we're going to talk about this just briefly. It's been confirmed by UEFA, no fine. Do you know what? To the haters, it's unprofessional. This isn't a professional channel. This is YouTube. And that's a big, to everyone that give me stick for going on about the Green Brigade and going on about the UEFA fines and everything. Celtic have not been fined. And let's face it, karma to all those haters. Anyway, he'll hate you, Baz, and all the Tims. Let's move away from that. They'll find them in the past for them, but they're not now. When you look at the worldwide condemnation of what's going on, I'm only going to speak about this for a little moment. Grampian boys are in the house. Kevin, I had a buttery this morning for the first time in years, and oh my god, I demolished the whole packet of 4 butteries in one go. I said, the fine then opens up questions tomorrow. The no fine, opens up questions tomorrow with regards to the board and the current situation with the fans. Celtic aren't the only ones. Let's get some of the comments up, because it is an all-inclusive channel, this, and I like to get as many up as Paul Baird was in San Francisco. Celtic, fantastic guy. Tam Mack, even Baz. Southeast London is in the house. I'm going to tag all these tonight because Lanky is in the house. We got Mardy, Helen's in the house. How are you, Helen? San Francisco Celtic, UEFA are too afraid to fine us. When you look at what's going on, I'm going to talk about this briefly because I think I've got a right to, because I got dogs abuse, and there was loads of people unsubscribed for the channel and everything and say that you're not a Celtic fan. You're not the type of Celtic fan that we want at Celtic Park. Well, do you know what? Anyway, right, I don't care anymore. I just don't care. I'm never going to be fan media, and I'm never going to get called into Celtic Park, and I wouldn't want to be that type of YouTube channel anyway. I think it's more imperative that you have your own identity and you have your freedom to say what you want about the club and everything that goes on there. Jason Smith, how are you? Common sense has prevailed from the Grampian boys. Yep, San Francisco spoke to Kaiser. No fine speaks volume about the board banning the Green Brigade far too fast. This is going to be exciting times, because the board now have to go back to the Green Brigade and open up some kind of dialogue, and it'll be interesting what happens over the next couple of days. Lanky, I'm going to get your one right up there. And yeah, John Shirley, how are you this evening? Paul Baird, kind of get all the money we paid them for the fines regarding Palestine flash. Yes, yeah, exactly. John, how are you? As Kev told you, I think we're going to pop down and see you on Friday morning. Help for Arbroath is in the house. Pop McGrath says, would you get a fine from UEFA for a flag that says I don't know, but then Pat, you've just got me again. You've got me again. Does it mean that the Green Brigades will have their seats back? Let's hope so. Let's hope that this nonsense. Let's hope that this nonsense is put to bed, and Peter Lawwell will be absolutely livid. He will be absolutely livid that Celtic did not, and the justification for banning the Green Brigades because of the flags and everything. And let's face it, it was because of the flags. Smell the glove. I am back. We're back. I've managed to take a chill pill. Baz, your channel is allowed to have its view. It is the one Celtic fans' view, and I tried to get as much people on here as possible and make it all inclusive. You could go, it's never going to be one of these big, huge 30,000 channels subscribers because it's far too polarizing. They'll have to apologise to the Green Brigade. Roshire CSC is in the house. Something Today is in the house. Kaiser's in the house. Get this Gordon Green Brigade sorted off. We need to get it sorted off pronto. Right, before you do, my phone's in the other room. Give me 2 seconds because I am going to share this video onto Twitter. If you're on Twitter, do us a favour, give it a share. We'll try and get as many people on as possible because it's kind of a big thing. In fact, it's a massive thing because it has polarised the fans for weeks now. The board publicly made this an issue. The board made sure, don't bring Palestine flags to the game. That was the board's war cry. That was the wait a minute. Got this mic. That was the board's battle cry, right? It was, do not bring Palestine flags to the game. They specifically said, do not bring flags to the game. The fans stuck 2 fingers up to the board. And due to the ongoing situation with Palestine and the worldwide condemnation, remember, there is a worldwide condemnation going on around the world about what's going on with Israel. There's a lot of people. I should go back. No, it's calm. Finish the tea and move on. Right, and one bit of Celtic news this afternoon that I spotted earlier. There's a Celtic youth player has changed to Mercury Sports Management, based in Glasgow. Young guy, we are delighted to welcome Mackenzie Carsey to the Mercury team. Mackenzie is a regular in the B team player and he's captained the side during the recent UEFA League games. Welcome, Team Mackenzie. It's another player, young, and the reason I'm talking about this young guy is it's another youth player at Celtic that's changed management company, changed agent. And what does it mean for Celtic? We're all about bringing as many youth players through as possible. In the words of Griffiths, Twitter's dead, mate. It is that. Partwell said the Green Brigades need their seats back. Another reason the board should quit. Not fit for purpose, says. Yeah, do you know what? Let's David, who's this idiot? There's always one that gets in there. There's always one. Let me see. David, you are now hidden from channel. There we go. Nice seeing you. Anyway, it's good to see that you've subscribed and watched, but ta-ta. Ta-ta for now. Right, let's get back to some of the comments. There's always one mutant. The Green Brigade should never have been banned. The board have egg on their faces. Do you know what's the best bit about it, right? Is the board jumped the gun. A lot of Celtic fans backed the board. And a lot of Celtic fans have now got egg on their faces also. And I watched my subscriber count go like this tonight. I don't care. I do not care. When you look at it, the board jumped the gun. They banned the Green Brigade because they were scared of any impending fine. They asked Celtic fans not to bring Palestine flags. There's been worldwide condemnation of what's going on in Palestine just now by the Israelis, and people saying stupid comments like, "Will Leila Bada walk away from Celtic because of politics?" No, he will not. No, he will not. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow afternoon with the AGM. It's going to be interesting to see. I did ask in this morning's video, we were talking about the Celtic Trust. And the Celtic Trust, obviously, I think they're about the 8th biggest shareholder in the club. I did message Jeanette Finlay and asked if we could get someone online. She said that she would try and get back to me with someone, but no one from the Celtic Trust has made themselves available as yet, unfortunately. It would have been good to get them on because I've got a lot of respect for all the work that the Celtic Trust do. The Celtic Trust say that they have no resolutions this year, but intend to raise the following matters. They're going to raise the matters of the ambition of the directors in Europe, the relationship with fans. They're going to raise that issue also. They're also going to raise the safety of fans in domestic and away grounds. And they're also going to bring up the club's position regarding UEFA regulations. And then they've got another bit saying that things that they're going to vote against, and they're obviously going to vote against Peter Lawwell getting reappointed, and Brian Rose, they're going to vote against his reappointment to reappoint Dermot Desmond, who retires as company director. They're going to vote against that also. They're going to vote against a lot of things, but it would have been nice to have them on just to talk about, especially with the news that's broken tonight, because they were big advocates of backing the Green Brigade. The Celtic Trust were massive advocates of backing the Green Brigade. So it would have been nice, especially with the news that has come out, that that the UEFA and the powers that be have not fined Celtic. They would have. UEFA couldn't find Celtic, especially with what's going on in the condemnation around the world from the protests that are going on around the world. If UEFA as a football organisation says that it's open to all, and it wants to bring the world together with football, it'll build Europe together with football. I think that banning Celtic, fining Celtic fans at this time would have been a daft thing. Anyway, let's move on from that. As I say, there's not a lot of information going about it. Surprise, surprise. The papers won't come out and go, Celtic didn't get fined for Palestine flags, because it would go against the agenda. It would go against the agenda that they've went with. Because when you look it up, I tried to do some Google searches to find some information about it before, but it is only the Celtic Star that is putting any information out about it. Now, there is one bit of information going around this morning, which is it. Because there's a lot of the mainstream media have now caught on to the story, so I'm just going to come off that and leave that. There is another story that I found about Ange Postecoglou, and we all know that Ange has been sniffing around, sending scouts up to watch some of Celtic players, and it has come out, no surprise really, but they're looking at Dyson Maeda. It is a new one. They've obviously been looking at Rio Hatate in the past, and obviously Kyogo, but Dyson Maeda was named on the Talking Transfers podcast some point over the last 24 hours. I think it was this morning actually. A guy from North London who speaks on the podcast in question has said that Graham Bailey has named both Rio Hatate, Kyogo Furuhashi as Spurs targets once again, but interestingly, he's also named Dyson Maeda, another player that Spurs are keen on this winter. Tottenham like Maeda. He says that he shared what he knows about the Tottenham plans. Tottenham have been keeping eyes on the Jota scenario, but they've also been looking at Hatate, Furuhashi and Maeda. The Jota one would be easy for them, but with the fact that they're getting him on loan, they have said that going for the Celtic players would be cheaper than some of the European players that they have been targeting for this transfer window. Maeda to Spurs move would make a lot of sense, he said. Get your hands off our players. If you went for big money, you wouldn't cry. What would you... Yeah, I'm just going to talk about Matt O'Reilly in a minute, John. Let's get back to some of the comments before we go. Why have you been linked with wingers? Yeah, Lanky, we've been linked with all sorts of wingers. But the fact that If Spurs come in for Dyson, would it be a big miss? Would it be a big miss? There's one, and tell me in the comments right now. Would Dyson Maida, would a bid for Dyson Maida from Ange Postecoglou and Spurs, would it be a big miss? He's been fantastic at the beginning of the season, but we've brought in a player in the name of. But listen, look at it. I see what you're saying. There's a lot you're saying. Yes, big miss. His record in front of goal isn't the best. If we get back Lil Abada, right? If you have Lil Abada on one side and then you have Lewis Palma on the other, you're not going to lose them. You're not going to lose any of those players in January due to the fact that they're not going to go to the Asia Cup. Yes, he is a great team. Yeah, he is. He's head and shoulders above the rest of the team. 25 million and he can go, says Paul Baird. When you look at Celtic, will be looking to try and raise as much money as they can, because you know what's going to happen tomorrow. Peter Lawwell's going to stand up, and you've got to remember the board will do all their talking before any of the Celtic supporters and fans get a say. The Celtic board are going to stand up tomorrow and say, we've had a really good year. We've had a fantastic season last season. We won the treble. We lost a fantastic manager, and we wish Ange Postecoglou all the best at his new job. We brought in what we thought was the best man for the job that was available in Brendan Rodgers, and Brendan Rodgers we trust, and Brendan Rodgers has had immense success at the club before, and we hope that success will continue. You know for a fact that if big money comes in for a player now, the likes of Dyson Maida, the club will jump at that opportunity. The club will take the money from Ange Postecoglou and Spurs at the drop of a hat. Now, they'll do that with one thing in mind, that Brendan Rodgers wants to spend some money on quality players. Brendan Rodgers wants to spend some money on quality players to bring them in to make us better in the Champions League. Dyson Maida was sent off in the Champions League. You could say he was a bit unlucky with that. Has he really done it in the Champions League the last couple of seasons? It'd be a huge miss domestically, but when we've had players come and go over the last 10 years or so, that we've always managed to have continued success at home. And I think that that's the reason that if there was an offer to come in for him, I think the board will definitely jump it. And let's get to some of the comments. And I'll go to that one first, GT. But boy, let Maida go. We have Abada and Yang. Maida's final ball is not as good as it could be. Do you think Yang will get more of a game now that Abada has gone? Was Yang brought in for a direct replacement for Abada? And I think he was. But it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one because we do have players. We do have enough wingers as it is. And the fact that he is out injured, will Spurs even make that move for him? Will they make that move for him? So let me just do some recaps on this. Celtic applications. Right, we'll shut down some pages. Right, so yeah, that's coming out of London this morning on a podcast, basically saying they've been keeping eyes on Hatate and Furiashi and Maida also now. Will they make a triple? Nah, they're never going to do that. Never going to do that. Surely not. Right, Celtic news kicking around. Matt O'Reilly's grandmother. This is a cracking story, an absolute cracking story. Matt O'Reilly's grandmother has been told to slow down. Because she is a grand old age, and she's been getting a little bit excited about the progression of Matt O'Reilly. And to be fair, we all have. Matt O'Reilly's had an absolute... Has Abada gone? No, Abada's not gone. Kaiser, he's not gone. Abada's not going anywhere. Trust me, I don't think he'll be going anywhere. Anyway, leave Maida alone, says Tam Mac. Let's get back to the one and only Matt O'Reilly. Now, Matt O'Reilly, his grandmother has been told to slow down. The fact that he's his biggest fan, it has been revealed that the football mad grandmother, who is his biggest fan, is the Danish media have not stopped talking about her. She's 85-year-old, and she wants to come and see him play at Celtic. She's more than ecstatic with the way that his career has went. He's finally come on to his career. I mean, going down to MK Dons, she maybe thought that, he's going to have a bang average after leaving Fulham. Going down to MK Dons, she maybe thought he's maybe not going to make it as a football player to the heights of the national team, but he has made it into the national team. He has had 6 goals, 5 assists in 12 games this season. There's a player that we need to be talking about, is Matt O'Reilly. Never mind Dyson Myra, who hasn't scored 6 goals and certainly not had 5 assists this season. When you look at Matt O'Reilly, that's the type of player that we need to be building the team around. And for Dyson Myra and all the love for Dyson Myra, when you look at the bigger picture, the crossing's absolutely terrible sometimes, and making a nuisance of himself on the pitch. But when you look at your grandma at 85, come on, Matt O'Reilly's granny is over the moon, and she wants to come to Celtic Park to see. She's in hospital for over a month, and she's told the surgeons and everybody looking after her in the hospital to hurry up and get her better so that she can go and watch him in a Champions League game. She was given a strong painkiller and told to drive home safely when she was driven home, to go home safely and calm down. She wants to come to Celtic and see her grandson in the Champions League. There we go. Let's get Matt O'Reilly's granny at Celtic Park and get her singing the Rebels tunes with the Green Brigade, waving Palestine flags. I love it. Absolutely love it. Let's get back to the comments in some sense, because there's not going to be much for me this evening, that's for sure. There's only one excited man already. That's a proud granny. Exactly. Lanky says, the players that think they will leave Yuki Awata and Benji Siegrist and Mikey Johnson in January. Is it too early to start talking about January? Let's get into December first, and let's get through December, and then once we get to the middle of the month and going forward, and that will be time that we'll have a good couple of YouTube videos talking about, a good few nightly lives talking about what players we think should leave. And Lanky, you're pretty much spot on with those players as well. Smell the Glove says Nana O'Reilly could play up front during the Asia Cup. Well, I don't know about that 85-year-old. For 65 million, I would loan you O'Reilly for a season. Oh, can Granny O'Reilly play left back? Oh, that is harsh. That is harsh on our left backs that we have at the club at the moment. Can she play on the wing? That is a good one. Granny on the wing. Granny on the wing. Granny on the wing. We've just started a new song. Granny Green Brigades. Granny Green Brigade. Granny Green Brigade. You know it's going to happen. And she definitely wouldn't get fined for it. Let's give it Granny with the Green Brigade singing. Oh my God. I remember when Granny first pulled on the hoops. Tried to you skinny woman that she was. That's it. They're no longer the Green Brigade, the Matt O'Reilly Granny Brigades. Oh, brilliant. Right, let's try and get some sensible, topical conversation that puts us up with some of the other Celtic channels. Who we can. Anyway, Matt O'Reilly's gran is absolutely ecstatic that he's got his international call-up, and that he's made it at Celtic. We'll get a recap. The Celtic Trust, they are, if you missed the start, the Celtic Trust, I did try and get someone from the Celtic Trust on, which would have been good considering the news that has come out this evening that the Celtic will not be fined. The Celtic Trust tomorrow are going to talk about several things at the AGM. The ambition of the directors, which I spoke about this morning, and I actually didn't read the Celtic Trust thing when I did the One Celtic Fans view we did this morning. They want to bring up the following matters, which is obviously the ambition and directors of the directors is when it comes to Europe. Where is the club going? What is the 3-year plan? The relationship with fans, which is it has caused a lot of nonsense between fans. And a lot of nonsense between fans, the board, and I think the board are going to really have to eat humble pie tomorrow. the fact that it's announced the day before the AGM that there's going to be no fine for the Green Brigades. Well, the Green Brigade weren't even in the stadium. The Green Brigade were sitting down London Road in the Celtic Supporters Association Club, and there was fans all around the stadium. Okay, the Green Brigade might have been outside handing out Palestine flags, but there was Palestine flags all around the stadium for the game in question. There has been no fine, so it'll be interesting at the AGM tomorrow to see what the board says specifically when it comes to relationship with fans. Now, you know that the way the board will turn this around, the board will turn this around and they'll say, look, it is not because of Palestine flags that we banned the Green Brigade. There's health and safety issues. There was a meeting at Hampden today with regards to pyro at the games. So they will go down the road of the pyro at the games and the fines. The fact there has been no fine for this one, it's a little one over you for that one. Anyway, the relationship between has deteriorated since Peter Lawwell has returned. Yes. Yep, it has. And it's unfortunate to say that, Big Dom. It is unfortunate to say that, and I'm not going to hide behind the matter, but it has completely went back to what it was years ago with the club. Do you know, it's Peter Lawwell. Peter Lawwell's ego maybe gets in the way of Celtic sometime, I think quite a lot. Anyway, other Celtic news kicking around this evening is the fact that O'Reilly's granny is absolutely ecstatic. Let's get back to just Celtic. Obviously, the Celtic Trust, the young lad that's in the B team, Mackenzie Mackenzie Carsey, who has captained the B team. He's got a new agent, Mercury Sports Management, which is a worry. Because I'm going to retweet this actually just to get some repost that, because especially with the way that we've been losing young guys at Celtic, and I just hope he's not another one that disappears out the door from Celtic. Will the club pay some sort of compensation for the Green Brigade being banned from the ground? They should not. Well, I don't. I think they were going to give them a pro rata thing, but I don't know. I have no idea. As I say, I'm not involved, so I don't really know. Surely Desmond sees the carnage Lawwell brings. You would think so. As an owner, as someone with the majority shareholding, and the fact that Peter Lawwell has been voted back onto the board as CEO yeah. I'm fed up talking about Peter Lawwell already, and we're not even at the AGM tomorrow, so we'll all be online at for the AGM coming out, because there'll be lots of stuff coming out on Twitter and stuff. And Hibs transfer near miss. Celtic linked Celtic Van Hooijdonk. Jota's now getting linked with Newcastle. Well, there you go. They've got the money. Lewis Palmer I have doubts. I don't think so. There's not a lot of news kicking about this one. It's like the night before Christmas. Everything goes a bit quiet. Trying to get any information for a lot of Celtic sites or even mainstream media about the fact that there's no fine is going to be nothing. There'll be no AGM starts at 11:30 tomorrow. Yeah, I knew that. So I'll be in the house and I'll be on Twitter looking at that. They'll still be taking money from the Green Maids. Yeah, there's still this. Well, the season tickets, they were still taking tickets for away games, so that will need to be reimbursed, Paul. Anyway, a lot of top tails and units liquidated. Yep. Right. Let's see that. Let me just check this. Yeah, there's not a lot of Celtic news kicking about this morning. Obviously, the players will all return back to training. And then get ready for the weekend. It is only Tuesday. We've been like, I've seen that, a South African striker. Where is that story? Transfer news. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to find that story that I seen earlier. And it's disappeared. Ah, there it is. Oh, it was Evening Times. Football Scotland. It was kicking around this morning, but it's never got a lot of meat on the bone to the story yet. There's not a lot of other places picking up the article. It's just I'm not even going to go over that story because he's just a kid. It said, yeah, he's not going to be a first team. He's not going to be first team for about 5 years. So yeah, the South African one, we'll miss that story out. We'll miss that story out. The Safeco AGM will be hilarious. Yep, yeah. Who all remembers a guy back on Twitter back in the day that for the B team. I'm not even going to go into that story. That's probably why I dismissed it earlier. There was a guy on Twitter, Jake the Snake, back in the day, and he used to wind up the Huns pretending that he was at the Sevco AGM, and the Huns would be tweeting like mad that there's a Fenian in the AGM, 75 million in the bank. Law will probably say Brendan has to sell a big player first before bringing in any more. Do you think that'll happen? Safeco AGM is still in a tent. Yeah, it probably is. In the car park that they don't own. It's going to be an interesting AGM tomorrow. It's going to be a really interesting AGM. Right, let's give some people a shout out. Big Dom is obviously in London. Nelly, who's up in Arbroath, and Spacey from the Ross-shire CSC. How many people was on live and how many thumbs up do we have? According to this, we only have 47 thumbs up, so get hitting that thumbs up so that we can get put out to as many Celtic fans as possible. Right, on that note, we've been doing for half an hour. I am done and dusted for the night. I am going to sit and chill out. It's been absolutely fantastic once again. We'll do a live tomorrow morning, and then we might do if there's anything kicking around, any information coming straight out the Celtic AGM, I might go live during the AGM just to have a say what everyone is saying. Baz, there's nobody cheering us up in your pod. I don't like all these serious pods. I like a bit of banter. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic night. God bless. And